You take it every morning, maybe it's in a capsule, maybe in a powder mixed into your juice, or maybe without even realizing it, it's blended into one of those heart-healthy breakfast bars you picked up because the label said essential. After 60, you trusted it. You believed it was helping you. But what if this so-called healthy supplement is slowly weakening the very organ you're trying to protect? It starts quietly. You feel more tired during the day. Your walks around. The blocks start feeling heavier. Maybe your heart skips a beat now and then, or you wake up in the middle of the night with a strange pressure in your chest that fades after a few seconds. You tell yourself it's just age, that everyone over 60 feels this way. But that's the lie, the soft, comfortable lie that this supplement sells you. Let's be direct. Not all supplements are safe for aging hearts. In fact, one of the most recommended over-the-counter nutrients, marketed especially to people over 50, has been linked in recent studies to increased inflammation in cardiac tissue. Yes, inflammation, the silent killer. It doesn't scream, it whispers. And by the time you notice the signs, the damage has already begun. You see, after 60, your body doesn't react to ingredients the same way. What might help a 30-year-old maintain energy might overstimulate your cardiovascular system, triggering arrhythmia, raising blood pressure, or weakening your heart muscle over time. Yet doctors rarely question these supplements because they're so commonly accepted. The labels are filled with words like natural, fortifying, and clinically tested. But none of that matters if it's the wrong compound for your biology at this age. And here's the cruel twist. The more tired and weak you feel, the more you think you need more of it. You increase the dosage, you take it more religiously, all while your heart grows more inflamed, your blood vessels more rigid, your breath shorter. Until one morning, walking up the stairs feels like a hike. That's not just aging, it's your body waving a red flag. One recent study from the American Heart Association found that over 62% of seniors using this exact class of supplements experienced elevated markers of cardiac inflammation. Yet, less than 15% reported noticing any symptoms in the first year. It's silent, that's why it's dangerous. So, why hasn't anyone warned you? Because the supplement industry is a $40 billion empire, and people over 60 are its most loyal clients. They're not interested in curing you. They're interested in keeping you hooked. Every capsule is sold with a smile, while your body whispers that something's wrong. But the worst offender, the one that does the most damage, that's still coming. And chances are, it's sitting on your kitchen shelf right now. Before we continue with the video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and what time it is there. And share your story, because I, or maybe someone else, might be able to help you with your pain. It's printed right there on the label, supports cardiovascular wellness. You've seen it countless times, maybe even circled it with hope. It feels reassuring, like a friend who knows what you're going through and wants to help. But there's something they're not telling you, something hidden behind those polished words and cheerful branding, because the very supplement sold as your heart's best ally might be the quiet force working against it. Imagine this. You're taking what's supposed to reduce inflammation, yet deep inside your chest, your arteries are stiffening. The rhythm of your heart becomes less steady, not enough to trigger panic, just enough to drain your energy day by day. You breathe a little heavier, sleep a little worse, feel a bit more anxious for no clear reason, and still, every morning, you swallow that capsule, believing you're doing the right thing. This paradox isn't just theoretical, it's biological. Many of these popular heart-friendly compounds, especially certain omega-6 derivatives and synthetic coenzymes, can create an imbalance in your body's inflammatory response. When you're young, your system can compensate. But after 60, your defenses are slower, your arteries are more sensitive, your heart can't afford even mild inflammation without consequences. You see, real cardiovascular strength comes from balance, not blind supplementation. But these products often flood your body with isolated nutrients, stripped from their natural context, and force your organs to process them as if they were food. Except they're not food, they're fragments, and your body is left to deal with the fallout. A 2022 review published in the Journal of Aging and Clinical Metabolism revealed a startling connection. Older adults who took daily synthetic heart supplements without dietary changes had a 37% higher risk of arterial calcification, progression over 5 years. That means hardened arteries, reduced elasticity, and yes, more pressure on your heart with every beat. And yet it's not just the pill that causes harm, it's the false sense of security it creates. You start believing you don't need to adjust your meals, that your afternoon walks are enough, that your slight breathlessness is just from overdoing it a little, but it's not. It's your body responding to a chemical signal that doesn't belong there anymore. Think about it. Have you been feeling colder hands lately? Does your heart race after climbing stairs? Do you lie awake some nights, restless, unable to calm down, even if everything seems fine? These are signs, not of stress, not of age, of an imbalance quietly growing inside of you. And yet, there's something even more common and even more harmful, much hiding in plain sight. Something nearly every senior consumes, and something that may be disrupting your heart's rhythm more than anything else. It's the first thing you reach for in the morning. It's part of your ritual, that sense of control, of starting your day right. Maybe it's stirred into your coffee. Maybe it's already baked into your healthy breakfast biscuit. Maybe it's in the cereal that promises fiber, strength, and vitality for the golden years. But beneath all those health claims is something far more dangerous, a metabolic trigger that places your heart under stress before the day even begins. You don't notice it at first. Why would you? It tastes fine. It gives you a bit of energy. Maybe it even helps keep things moving. But inside, your cardiovascular system is forced into overdrive. Blood vessels constrict, heart rate edges upward. Inflammation, once silent, begins to pulse stronger. Not enough to send you to the hospital, just enough to keep your body quietly deteriorating. That's what makes it so deceptive. You don't feel sick. You just feel slower, heavier, older. You chalk it up to time, but this isn't time. It's a response, because this food, often marketed with words like wholesome, energizing, or for active seniors, is loaded with refined plant oils and artificial stabilizers that disrupt the delicate communication between your gut and your heart. After 60, your digestive system changes. Your liver processes fats differently. Your pancreas is more sensitive to spikes. And when these industrial additives enter your body, especially first thing in the morning, your body struggles to cope. The result? Low-grade inflammation that tightens arteries, spikes cortisol, and leaves your heart working harder just to keep up. It's not just about cholesterol anymore. It's about how your entire system reacts to what you give it, especially on an empty stomach. Think of your cardiovascular system like a garden hose. In youth, it's flexible, but with age and constant internal pressure, it becomes stiff, brittle, reactive. And every time you start your day with this so-called healthy breakfast, you're tightening that hose just a little more. A clinical study from the Geriatric Heart Research Foundation followed 3,000 adults over 65. The group that consumed emulsified plant oil spreads or high-fiber cereals with added glucose polymers showed a 29% higher risk of irregular heartbeat episodes compared to those who stuck to whole foods like oats, eggs, or simple fruits. And it's not just the physical effects. These hidden ingredients affect your mental clarity too. Have you ever sat down to read the paper and had to go over the same sentence 3 times? Or started forgetting names, appointments, even conversations from a day earlier? That fog may not be age. It may be the breakfast that's dulling your circulation and starving your brain of oxygen. But here's the good news. This chain can be broken. Your body wants to recover. Your arteries want to soften. Your breath wants to return. And in just a moment, we'll talk about a missing nutrient that most seniors overlook, yet it could be the very element that begins to restore everything. You lie down at night expecting rest, but something feels off. There's a pressure, not quite pain, resting behind your ribs. Your legs feel heavy, your breathing shallow. You turn to the left, then to the right. It's not panic, not a heart attack, just unease. A silent alarm your body has been ringing for weeks, maybe months. But no one told you how to hear it. This isn't just aging. It's not just how things are after 60. It's a pattern, a chronic internal cry for help that's been drowned out by commercials selling youth in pill form and doctors too rushed to look deeper than a blood pressure cuff. You've been dismissed. Everything looks fine, but you know something isn't, and deep down, your body knows too. Let's decode what it's been trying to say. That shortness of breath after walking up the stairs? That's not just lost stamina, it's your arteries struggling to expand. That occasional skipped heartbeat? It's not anxiety. It's an electrical signal misfiring through an inflamed cardiac wall. That tightness in your chest that fades when you rest. That's not age. It's restricted blood flow being momentarily relieved. Your body isn't broken. It's overworked and undersupported. And the saddest part? Many of the symptoms you feel now were triggered or worsened by choices you made trying to be healthy. You followed the labels. You drank the shakes. You avoided fat. You You took your daily capsule, and slowly, the stiffness came, the mental fog, the brittle mornings. Not because you neglected your health, but because you trusted the wrong promises. The human heart isn't just a pump. It's an orchestra, and when the body is under constant low-grade attack from the wrong substances, the instruments fall out of rhythm. First, the strings, your breath, then the percussion, your pulse, then the melody, your mood, your energy, your will to move. All of it starts to blur, but here's what they never told you. Healing is still possible. Even at 60, 70, 80, your body can restore. It remembers strength, it remembers rhythm, but it needs the right raw materials, not synthetic isolated molecules, not chemical emulsifiers pretending to be food. It needs a specific mineral, often overlooked, that quietly reactivates the heart's natural rhythm and strengthens your blood vessels from the inside out. This mineral isn't expensive. It's not sold in flashy ads, but most seniors are severely deficient in it, especially those who've been following the low-fat, heart-healthy trend for decades, and without it, your heart is forced to compensate until it can't. Imagine waking up and not feeling that pressure in your chest. Imagine walking to the market without that invisible weight on your spine. Imagine going to sleep and staying asleep, waking up with energy that doesn't fade after breakfast. This isn't fantasy. It's chemistry, the kind that works with your body, not against it. So what is this missing element, and how can you start replenishing it today without relying on pills or overpriced powders? That part is coming now. Quietly, simply, naturally. There's something your body has been quietly missing, not because you neglected it, but because no one ever told you how vital it really is. It's not new, it's not flashy, it doesn't come in shiny packaging or promise miracles in 30 days, but without it, your heart slowly loses its rhythm, your muscles tighten, your breath shortens, and your nights become restless, your days heavier. This isn't aging. This is magnesium deficiency, and for millions over 60, it's the missing key to everything they've been trying to fix with pills that never worked. Magnesium isn't optional, it's foundational. It regulates over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, many of them inside your cardiovascular system. It helps keep your heartbeat steady, your blood vessels relaxed, and your nervous system calm. When you don't have enough, everything starts to feel wrong, but nothing looks wrong. On paper, that's why it goes unnoticed. That's why you felt off without knowing why. Think about the symptoms. Waking up feeling unrested even after 8 hours. That tight feeling in your chest that isn't quite pain. A racing heart when you're just sitting still. Cold hands, twitching muscles, brain fog. These aren't just random annoyances. They're magnesium whispers. They're your body telling you, I'm trying to hold it together, but I'm running out of what I need. What's worse, the very supplements you've been told to take, calcium tablets, iron fortifiers, synthetic heart pills, many of them drain magnesium further, and when you lose magnesium, your arteries stiffen, your heart has to work harder to pump blood, your stress hormones spike, your sleep hormones crash. You wake up at 3 a.m., eyes open, heart pounding, for no reason at all. But magnesium doesn't push. It restores. It doesn't stimulate your heart. It stabilizes it. It doesn't sedate your brain. It calms it. Seniors who restore healthy levels of magnesium often report deeper sleep, steadier energy, improved digestion, and sharper memory. Not because they added something foreign to their body, but because they gave back what was slowly taken away over the years. One study published in Cardiovascular Research Today followed 800 adults over 60 with mild heart fatigue. Those who added 350 4/55 of bioavailable magnesium daily for just 90 days showed lower resting heart rates, fewer nighttime palpitations, improved mood, and even smoother digestion. No side effects, no extreme diets, just quiet, progressive restoration. So where does this magnesium come from? Not from low-grade tablets that your body flushes out in hours. You'll find the real kind in foods like soaked almonds, pumpkin seeds, spinach, black beans, and avocado. But after 60, your absorption slows. So even with a good diet, you may need help. That's where magnesium glycinate and magnesium threonate come in. Two gentle forms that bypass digestion and go directly to work in your heart, muscles, and even brain tissue. And the result? You stop waking up exhausted. You stop needing coffee just to feel alive. You begin to move again, not forced by willpower, but led by real energy. You smile more because the tension has lifted from your chest, from your neck, from your mind. You begin to feel like yourself again. But we're not done, because while magnesium lays the foundation, there's a food, one single, natural, easy-to-find food that accelerates the recovery. It's not exotic, it's not expensive, and you've probably passed by it 100 times without knowing that it might be the simplest way to bring oxygen, vitality, and rhythm back into your body. It's not what you expect, but it might be exactly what you need. It doesn't come in a bottle. It doesn't cost a fortune. It doesn't promise miracles, and yet for countless people over 60, it delivers something far more valuable, a return of breath, of energy, of steady rhythm. This isn't a superfood hyped by influencers. It's a humble, often overlooked fruit that holds inside it the exact fuel your heart's been missing. It's not new, it's not rare, but when your body is depleted, it becomes powerful. Beets. Yes, beets. Maybe you've avoided them your whole life. Maybe you haven't had one since childhood. Maybe you only think of them as something your grandparents ate. But to your aging heart, beets are like oxygen in edible form. They're packed with natural nitrates, not the harmful kind added to processed meats, but the ones your body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that tells your blood vessels to open, to relax, to flow. Why does that matter? Because when your vessels are tight, your blood pressure rises. When they're relaxed, your heart doesn't have to push as hard. And when nitric oxide flows freely, your circulation improves, your breathing eases, your muscles receive more oxygen, and your brain finally gets the clarity it's been aching for. All of this from a root vegetable that's been quietly waiting in the produce aisle your entire life. In one study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, older adults who drank just 1 cup of beetroot juice a day saw a 13% improvement in oxygen delivery during physical activity, along with lower resting blood pressure and reduced shortness of breath. But this isn't about juice cleanses or trendy detoxes. It's about giving your heart the tools it needs to do its job, without stress, without strain, without fear. And it's not just beets. This effect multiplies when paired with magnesium. One opens the vessels, the other calms the rhythm. Together they form a quiet alliance, one that slowly reverses years of pressure, tension, and fatigue. You don't need to reinvent your life. You don't need to start running marathons. You need to start listening to what your body's been asking for all along. So picture this. You wake up, you breathe deeply, and it feels full. You move through your morning with steadiness, not struggle. You walk without watching every step. Your hands are warm, your heart is quiet, your thoughts feel clean, and instead of chasing energy, you find it, waiting inside you. This is not a dream. It's not a theory. It's a shift. Small, simple, powerful. Start with soaked almonds and spinach. Add magnesium glycinate to your evening. Roast a beet with olive oil and garlic. Observe, wait, watch what your body remembers. Because healing doesn't shout, it returns in silence, in breath, in lightness, in strength. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. The sun is just beginning to rise, and the world outside is still quiet. You stand by the window, hands steady, chest calm, breath deep and unhurried. There's no tightness, no rush, no invisible weight holding you down. Just clarity, just strength, just peace. That peace doesn't come from avoiding age. It comes from finally understanding it and choosing to walk with it, not against it. Because what you've felt all these years, the tired mornings, the racing heart, the breath that falters too soon, wasn't weakness. It was a body under siege, not by time, but by the subtle poisons disguised as help. It was inflammation dressed as health. It was exhaustion sold as normal. And now, you see it for what it really was. You see how your morning, healthy routine may have drained you, how the capsule you trusted might have triggered the very stress you were trying to prevent, how the silence inside your chest was never truly still, only ignored. But now, there's no more ignoring. There's choice, there's knowledge, there's a path forward. You know about magnesium, the mineral your heart has been whispering for all along. You know about beets, that simple root your body can use like a spark, reigniting the very rhythm of life. You know the truth, that healing doesn't come from excess, but from restoration, from giving back what time, trends, and toxins quietly took away. And in knowing all of this, you're no longer in the dark. You're no longer passive. You are active in your own recovery, not in fear, but in dignity. With every breath, every step, every bite, You reclaimed the strength that was always yours. So tonight, when you lay your head down, do it with the quiet confidence of someone who listened, who took a warning and turned it into action, who looked beyond the label and saw the body beneath, the heart beneath, the life still ready to be lived, not in survival, but in vitality. Let your final thought today be this: you're not aging into weakness, you're awakening into wisdom. Your body isn't failing, it's responding. And now, for the first time in a long time, it can finally begin to heal. If this message touched something in you, share it. Not for views, not for clicks, but because someone else, maybe your neighbor, your sibling, your old friend, is sitting quietly in their kitchen, feeling a pressure they don't understand, wondering what's wrong, waiting for a sign. Let this be it. Because sometimes what saves a life isn't a doctor or a drug or even a diagnosis. Sometimes it's a story, a warning, a voice, just like yours.